Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover the newest champion available in Marvel Contest of Champions, Yelena Belova. So, Yelena Belova is a pretty fun character. I really enjoyed getting the deep dive footage for her. I thought she was incredibly fun. My initial perception of her was she was going to be a primarily defensive character, but once I started using her for the offensive fights and starting to learn the loop, for offense, I actually really like her, and I think she's a pretty cool character. I think she'll be very useful for short to medium form content. I don't necessarily see her being anything more than a short to medium form content character on offense because her loop sort of runs out of gas eventually, and you have to restart from the beginning. So if you want to use her in that content, by all means, but I think she's going to primarily thrive and strive in short to medium form content like Battlegrounds, Alliance War, and certain types of questing. I also think she'll be pretty solid for story content. So, Yelena is immune to poison from her base, and she has this endurance passive which reduces the duration of non-damaging debuffs by 35%, which is very useful. Additionally, I have her at Sig 1 here. That's just if I have her at Sig 1 just in case I end up pulling her, just in case I open like an early release bundle, or if I get her from a Titan Crystal in the future. She only really needs Sig 1, at least for me, because I'm not going to invest the Sig Stones right away into her. I think Sig 1 is very useful because she gets that damage reduction, and she also gets the miss and evade bypass when she's in elimination mode, and I think that's incredibly useful. So I think Sig 1 is fine, but I would put Sig Stones in down the line, just not right away. So now that we've got that out of the way, the way to play Yelena Belova is you want to do a lot of heavy attack knockdowns towards the start of the fight. You want to get those bleed vulnerability passives. You want to intercept as much as you can to just increase your combo. And the name of the game is you need to get to 100 combo, and then ideally you're going to throw your special 2 once you have 100 or more combo. Knocking the opponent down gives you 10, and then your basic hits also give you an additional hit in your combo meter, which is very nice. So as long as you're getting off some heavy counters, you're constantly knocking the opponent down, you're going for intercepts, you're just constantly hitting them. That's the name of the game with Yelena. You just want to be hitting them constantly. Get to 100, throw your special 2, and then you enter elimination mode. And in elimination mode, all of your hits are guaranteed critical hits. So now you can just go for full combos like this. And what I like to do with Yelena is I like to just go full throttle, not even bother with the special 1, and just combo until the opponent dies. And if he had more health, I would have just thrown another special 2. So 51 seconds, not the absolute fastest, but definitely solid. Now let's go fight the next level of I-Bomb to show what a full rotation looks like, where you're pushing the limit of her one single loop. I think her best range is around 500,000 health, especially with class advantage. And you can definitely do a lot of decent damage during that elimination mode if you have an opponent that has, 500,000 health, something like that. So as you can see, that Petrify is expiring a lot faster than it typically would be because of that Endurance passive. Now, obviously, it still has a pretty long duration, but because we have the Endurance passive, it is not going to last nearly as long. So right now, I'm just going to try to land one intercept here. He doesn't want to give it to me. Okay, there we go. End on 100 hits. Now we're in elimination mode. Everything is guaranteed crit. We're just going to bait this special 1, and now I'm just going to combo him normally and build my way back up to a special 2 and throw that again. And that's essentially just what you do with Yelena. Now, you can throw your special 1, and that allows you to perform a reversal against any of the opponent's hits, but I prefer just going for the special 2. I think it's a lot more satisfying, and I enjoy that loop a lot more, because you can go for like one special 2 once you start elimination mode, you can go for another one while you're in elimination mode, and then by the time elimination mode runs out, you can throw like a final special 1 and sort of reset the whole loop. So that was 500,000 health in 1 minute and 3 seconds. Very solid, very solid. Another matchup she's pretty good for is Leader. So Leader applies all of those debuffs on you, and obviously those can be very annoying because they're going to linger, they might start to prevent your willpower healing, and they're also going to give you inequity because of that being a very common mastery where you have to fight champions that have masteries active. So Yelena's Endurance passive will reduce the duration of those debuffs, not to the point where they're going to expire instantly, but it will be reduced by a significant amount. So by the time you really get the damage going, those debuffs are more or less going to be gone. Now, yes, the debuffs are still going to be there. You can't avoid them forever, but they are going to go away faster than they typically would. And I think that's pretty sweet, man. I think that's pretty sweet. Gonna bait one more special one here from leader. Tried to go for a heavy counter there. He did not want to go for it. So now I'm just going to go for 2 heavy knockdowns. And then... Okay, he's not going to go for it. That's fine. Okay, I mean, that's good, but it's not exactly what I was going for. Doesn't matter. We got the special 2 off. In a normal matchup, you would not go for those rambunctious heavy attacks like I was going for there. You would just go for a heavy once you have him parried or like with a striker stun. But now you just bully him in the corner and throw a relic, get the extended combo, and by the time I get back to my next special 2, leader's already dead. Now that did take a little longer because I was sort of messing around there, but still finished with 100% health, 1 minute 2 seconds, very safe. Let's go fight the bigger leader, the 500,000 health leader, to show what a normal matchup should look like. So this is 530, this is a leader, and we're going to do the same thing we did for I-Bomb. We're going to start with heavy attack at the beginning of the fight, and then ideally you go for like a full 5-hit combo, get a parry off, and then throw another heavy. You want to make sure that you're not throwing too many heavies too early, because if you do that, you're going to run out of those bleed vulnerabilities, and you really want those active by the time you get to your special 2. So now I'm going to just back off, bait another dash here, go for another heavy attack, and by the time I throw one more heavy, leader is going to be... actually, I don't even need the other heavy. I'm just going to intercept, get to 100 hits, and go straight to my special 2. Gonna bait another special attack from leader. And now we just go crazy. So, like I said, in short to medium form content, I feel like you don't necessarily need the special 1. If you want to throw it, dude, by all means, throw it. I prefer going for the special 2. I think that's a lot more fun. Bait this. And then throw the special 2 one more time. I can even bait a reversal if I wanted to, but there's no need. And the guaranteed crits are going to finish him off with some hits to spare. So, a 500,000 health leader, 100% health remaining, 1 minute, 12 seconds. Definitely not bad. She's not going to win speed races for you, I guarantee that. She's primarily a defender, but she can be used on offense, and she can be used pretty effectively. So, in a matchup where maybe you have some miss to deal with, like a spot, or any character that could potentially miss, like Photon, you can still use Yelena Belova. So, I think for Photon specifically, you only want to use her in the shorter form Photons, unless you're fully boosted, you have like synergies benefiting her. I think she will work well for short form Photons. You just have to play it sort of well. You can't just play it all willy-nilly and be fine. But look at how fast those debuffs are getting shrugged off of Yelena. They're basically... They have such a little duration that you don't have to worry about them. So now I'm trying to bait a heavy attack here from Photon so I can knock her down, get a bleed vulnerability going, parry that, and now I'm trying to bait another heavy, one more heavy knockdown from myself, and then land an intercept, one more heavy knockdown again, and then basically a full combo with an intercept, and we've got it here. Yeah, so by the time we get her to elimination mode, Photon is already borderline dead. Go for a little sidestep there. I did that in the deep dive well, if you caught that. And then a full combo, and there goes a small Photon in 54 seconds with 97% health remaining while baiting heavy attacks. So, because the debuffs fall off so fast, Photon's block penetration from her SIG ability doesn't really have a chance to kick in because the debuffs are going away before she's hitting your block with debuffs. So I think she's good for short form Photon, like specifically short form Photon, but anything outside of that, you probably want to use somebody else who's more geared towards being a specific direct Photon counter. But the last thing I want to show you is actually Labyrinth of Legends Red Hulk, just to show you what her range looks like in a longer fight, so you can really see how far you can push one single rotation with Yelena. So like I said, we're going to fight Labyrinth Red Hulk here. Sorry, the recording clipped out a little bit. We're going to fight Labyrinth Red Hulk here to show exactly what one loop can look like in longer form content and how much health she's exactly getting off of an opponent with, more than 500,000 health, because her normal range is around 300 to 500,000 health. That's where she excels. But let's see what pushing her range to the absolute limit looks like in longer form content. So, something you can do is you can throw a special 2 preemptively to gain an additional 50 hits and then build back up to another special 2. Now, I don't think that's the most effective way to play Yelena, but if you're already, knee-deep in a match, you're already at 2 bars of power, and you want to do that anyway, I think that's totally fine. We're going to go for one more heavy attack, heavy into special 2, and he started at 90, so we're going to judge this from 90%, right? From 90, he's going to go all the way down to something. All right. Throw a special here. Thank you very much. Go for an intercept. Go for a relic to gain the cruelty. Full combo into special 2. So far, it's 20% down, almost 25%, which is pretty solid. And I think I'll probably go for either a special 1 here towards the end. Yeah, so I'm still in elimination mode for this final special 1 for the guaranteed crits. But now I will be exiting as this heavy attack concludes. But that was from 90 to 50, so 40% of his health. 50% of his health would be around, let's see, what, 750,000? So 40% is probably just knocking on the door of 600,000, something like that. So that's what her max range looks like. Let's go for one more heavy here into a special 2. And I should be able to finish him from this loop here if I just kind of go crazy. Go for the full combos. Yeah, those crits are doing, 14,000 damage on mediums and around 10,000 damage on light attacks. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. If Red Hulk was a little more cooperative, we could be getting this fight done a little faster, but he's just not right now. And, nothing I can do about that. Alright, one more special 2, and Red Hulk should be in the bin. Yeah, he should die during this special 2. Yeah, there you go. So, in 2 rotations, Yelena can get down 1.5 million health with no damage taken. Definitely not bad. So, I like Yelena. I think she's pretty cool. She's definitely not the flashiest champion, but a lot of her damage comes from smaller numbers adding up over time, and I think she'll be a pretty useful attacker going forward. She kind of reminds me of an evolution of Bullseye. So let me know what you all think about Yelena as an attacker down in the comments below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, and I hope that you did, please consider subscribing and also hitting that like button. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.